Good morning. Hi there. Welcome to my channel, Always Be Crafting. My name is Natasha, and today is Saturday, July 26th. I'm overwhelmed. I'm recording while driving because I have to multitask. That is the day it is. I am leaving the country in 3 days. I am so excited. I am so excited. I am so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so it's Saturday. On Saturdays, I sew. Yes, I do. And I've been sewing this morning. Why am I driving? But Saturdays and it's Saturdays I sew. Why am I driving? I am driving because it is also a show day. For the last 2 weeks, this is the third time, I am heading to the theater because it is a 2-show day. We are doing The Little Mermaid. I work wardrobe. I am the wardrobe supervisor for it's an equity regional production of The Little Mermaid. Wonderful show. I'm primarily the Ursula dresser, but I also do a couple more quick changes with some mermaids into princesses, and also one Prince Eric quick change. So mostly I'm there to supervise the interns, to help with repairs, etc. And mostly Ursula. That is my main job, but it's mostly repairs, honestly. And I apologize for the bumpy road. It's a lot of back roads between my home and the theater. It rents space out of a high school because it's a schmancy high school, and they've got a very nice setup. The theater used to have like this beautiful like outdoor tent kind of beautiful setup, and for years and years and years. But people want air conditioning, and there's this, schmancy high school had done this huge renovation on their auditorium. So the summer theater was like, can we rent the high school space for our summer theater? And it was a match made in heaven, because now everyone gets air conditioning and everyone is happy, and they have like this beautiful state-of-the-art theater, which is amazing. Anyways, so this morning you would have watched me sew. The first thing I sewed was I did a repair on the Sebastian spats. They are his shoe coverings for, making his feet look red, essentially. It was just easier to fix on my serger because it's a very, very stretchy material, of course. And the sewing machines we have at the theater, primarily we use the high school, because the sewing supervisor, or the wardrobe designer, my boss, she is also the costume teacher, I guess. Well, she teaches costumes at the high school, so she has access to all the high school sewing machines, etc. So we have access to the high school sewing machines when we are there working wardrobe backstage, which is awesome. But they're high school machines. They're not, super high quality. They're very good quality sewing machines. I don't want to speak ill of them, but it needed a serger. This specific repair was going to benefit more from a serger. I didn't have red thread, so when I get to the theater, I am going to use a red Sharpie, because for the life of me, I could not find a red Sharpie, but I will take a red Sharpie to my white thread, and I will color the thread red. It's like, Alice in Wonderland, painting the roses red. We're painting the roses red. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint the thread red. I'm going to paint the thread red, and it'll be fine, because that's what we do. We use Sharpies in costuming. So that was the first thing you saw me do. And then you saw me fiddle around. I made a bestie bag, and I'll try to put a picture because I don't think you got a very clear shot. So I'll put pictures of my bestie bag. And I love it. I made it for my trip because I'm leaving the country in 3 days. And I made a bestie bag for my trip because I decided that, even though I had originally thought that a Ferris fanny pack, which is like my everyday bag, was going to be the bag I was going to use on my trip as my, everyday purse, I realized I'm going to want something just a little bit more substantial to carry things around in, but still have the security. So I made myself a bestie out of the Coca canvas that I had. It was like the Coca anniversary canvas that I had purchased from So Hungry Hippie, and it's got all those different beautiful panels of different Coca canvases, different prints that they've featured over the last, I don't even know how many years. So it's got just all these beautiful different prints and in a patchwork design basically, and it's just so gorgeous. I fell in love with this canvas as soon as I saw it, and it's a lightweight canvas, but I decided to interface it with Soft and Stable. So the bag has a certain amount of, not heft, it's still very lightweight because Soft and Stable, of course, is very lightweight, but it's, padded, essentially, and stable. It's a very stable bag, and I love it. I didn't quilt it. I didn't take the time to quilt the bag, but it's gorgeous. Wait, no, did I quilt the bag? Did I quilt the bag? I did quilt the bag. I did quilt the bag. Oh my gosh, I am losing my mind. I did quilt the bag. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I'm just losing my brain because I don't have it in my hands. I can't remember what I did for a minute. I love it. And yeah, I quilted it to the Soft and Stable, but I did not quilt it to the lining. I floated the lining so I could hide the seams because I didn't want to use binding. Even though I love binding, the Bestie bag is not written to have binding. I have done it with binding, and it's not horrible, but it's not written that way, so I chose not to do it that way. I chose to, just sew up, flip it inside out and then sew up the closure. And I used the skull fabric on the inside, and I put 2 inside zipper pockets instead of the slip pocket. The way the Bestie bag is written, it has I think 1 zipper pocket and 1 slip pocket. I just did 2 zipper pockets because that's my preference, and I just did them the way I like to do them. I did not follow the directions in the Bestie bag pattern for it. I don't think I did them wrong, because you can't really do them wrong. If you know how to insert a zippered pocket, you know how to insert a zippered pocket. You can't really do it wrong. So I did. And then when I was doing, I had to put the little strap end on the strap, because I didn't use the measurements in the Bestie bag, because the Bestie bag uses the same fabric for their strap, and they recommend using a 2-inch strap, but I didn't have 2-inch strapping. I only had 1.5 inch, so I used 1.5 inch strapping, because that's also, I take that back, I had received in the mail, I'd ordered some 2-inch webbing, or strapping, whatever you want to call it, but I didn't have any 2-inch hardware, so I still had to use my 1.5 inch strapping / webbing, even though I ordered 2-inch webbing for the project, but didn't have the hardware, didn't arrive. So yeah, I still used 1.5 inch, and it's fine. And but I didn't, like I said, I didn't have any hardware, and I thought I had strap ends, but I didn't have 1.5 inch strap ends. I had 1-inch strap ends. This has been even though I have so many bag parts and pieces, sometimes I don't have the right color for what I need. I have things in rainbow, but I've chosen to use gunmetal or whatever, or I choose 1.5 inch and I only have things for 1 inch. I think I have enough of everything, and then the one thing I want to use is what I don't have. It's crazy. So anyways, I had to make my own bag end, or strap end, so I just used the canvas to make that. And then because my strap was so long, because I didn't measure it, I just kind of eyeballed it. I'm like, that looks long enough, and it was, but it was too long. So then when I went to trim it down, I was like, well, this is actually the perfect size for a keychain. Well, why don't I just use that cut, and I'll do a little keychain end when I do the strap end. So you saw me cut that out of the Oak La Roots fancy, I think they're called strap ends, actually is what she calls them also. Fancy strap ends is what I think it's called, but I'll put it in the whatever. Pictures, links, whatever, here. And then you saw me cut out all my Tilda fabric finally, because I'm making a packing pod to put in my court side. I'll put pictures of my court side because you didn't see me working on it today. I've been working on my court side all week, but you didn't see me working on it today. I'll put a picture of it. I'll put pictures of my court side. I'm now arriving at the high school. I will come back and talk to you later and tell you all about everything else I'm making, but you saw me cutting out my court side. No, not my court side. You saw me cutting out my Tilda fabric and quilting that. And hopefully I'll have some, after I do my repairs here at the theater, I will get to cut out and sew together the packing pod, and I'll film that while I'm here. Bye. And it's the end of the night. I'm exhausted. It is now 7:53 p.m. and I'm leaving. I'm going home. I don't know how good the quality of the video is because, like I said, it's nighttime and the sun has set. What can I tell you? I did some sewing. My packing, I call it a packing pod, but that is actually the Spencer Ogg name for the pattern is packing pod, but I was using the pattern measurements from by Annie. It's a very similar pattern. She calls it a pack it in. So I really should call it a pack it in and not a packing pod because I use the by Annie pattern technically, even though the two patterns are very similar. I mean, there's only, you know, so many ways to skin a cat, I guess. Anyways, I made most of the components for a pack it in. And I just have one more step, essentially, just attaching the zipper loop to the two sides. And, you know, the binding is already attached to the zipper loop. So once I attach the top and the bottom, then I just fold over the binding and run it around again. So it'll be very quick to finish it. Maybe I'll finish it tonight. I don't know, because I met the zipper that conquered me. The show has done it. I have been fighting zippers on this show, and I've been winning. I've been winning all my battles until today. We have one performance left. Tomorrow is the final performance of The Little Mermaid, and today one zipper just said, nope, not today, Satan. So, I don't know, maybe not today, Satan, because that makes it sound like I'm Satan, and I'm not Satan. But one zipper just said, no, we're not working. And there's nothing. I mean, I worked on the zipper. We had to literally pin the actress into the costume, safety pin her in, and then, you know, get her out of it because she's only in the costume for one number. And that's all we could do because the zipper was not going to zip. And then after she was out of the costume, as long as I was sitting, not, you know, helping someone with a costume change, that's all I did for the rest of the show was work on that zipper, trying to free it because some kind of string got tangled in it. And I said, nope, I'm gonna take the zipper out. I'm just gonna remove the entire zipper and install a brand new zipper. And one of the interns said, can I try? And I was like, sure. You know, I'm not too proud to say maybe my old lady eyes and hands have just met their match. Maybe you can do it. She worked on it for a solid 10 minutes before I had to say, we need to close up because the show is over. The actors are leaving. The dressing rooms need to be closed down so we can go home and, you know, do laundry and move on with our lives. But she worked on it for like a solid 10 minutes trying to free the string from the zipper because she was determined. and she couldn't do it either. And I was just like, we both really tried. This zipper, the string that is trapped inside that zipper, there was nothing. It was multiple. I don't know how the actress did it, but multiple zipper teeth had eaten the string, and there was nothing getting it out. Like, it was completely tangled. There was no way to free the zipper. It was done. And it's a cheap zipper. It's not like an expensive zipper. So it's plastic. I'm just like, we just have to call it. We just have to remove the zipper and install a new one. Like, this is not, it's not like a $500 item. This is literally like a couple of dollars of, expense here. Just take out the zipper and put in a new zipper. It's not a big deal. Like, just move on. I think some people get so overwhelmed with, I don't know, like so intimidated, like, no, I can't install a zipper. And I'm like, no, it's really not that bad. But I have to take it home because the sewing machines, if you watched me, I was sewing my zipper tape on to my pack it in on those sewing machines, and they don't even have zipper feet at the school sewing machines. I was making it work because I was using soft and stable and really high quality zippers from Wowak, and they're like YKK zippers, and I'm like, it's okay, I know this pattern, I know this, like, what I'm doing, it's not a big deal, I can do this based on like how the zipper is going in. But for this costume, not in a million years would I trust those sewing machine feet, those sewing machines with installing a zipper on these costumes, because the costumes already have like just so much going on. If I'm able to film it, if I do it tonight before I go to bed, I will film it and it'll be part of this video. I might decide that I am too tired because I still have to do laundry for the show, and there are people at my house. Like, I'm going home to friends at my house watching a movie with my husband right now. I may decide to just start the laundry and join my husband and friends and just decide to end the video and call it a night. Like, that might be my choice. I don't know. I won't know until I get home. I don't know. But I did a lot of sewing, I can't be mad. I didn't film it, but I did more. I had to, do a little bit more mending on the Ursula dress because another tentacle popped, because that's just what happens on the Ursula dress, apparently. The tentacles, I think originally when they were created, they didn't have a serger, and it's a stretchy fabric, and they are stuffed. This stretchy fabric is really, really stuffed, and they're under a lot of pressure. They're getting twirled around with all her dancing, and because they're so big, sometimes they get stepped on. And after all these performances and all the battery they're taking, they're popping stitches, and I'm just sitting there hand stitching them back together because that's all I can do. And so I did a lot of sewing today. Not all of it was filmed, but there was a lot of sewing today. And I'm leaving the country in 3 days. I'm still really excited about that. My courtside, I don't even know if I showed pictures of it yet, but I have to finish the straps so I can install that. But I have the front and the back done, and I have the zipper loop sewn, but I haven't shaped it yet. And this morning you saw me cutting binding both for when I cut out the pack it in Tilda fabric. You saw me cut like this bright pink binding fabric. That is binding fabric for the court side also. It has green binding on the inside and hot pink binding on the outside, like around the shoulder straps and whatnot. I think I have all the binding cut for the zipper loop. I may have to cut more binding because I don't know if I measured it right. After I made all the binding, I'm looking at it going, is this enough? I think this is enough. I'm not sure if this is enough. So yeah, I might be making more green binding for the court side, but otherwise that bag is shaping up to be done very soon. But tomorrow is going to be work in the morning, show in the afternoon, and then as soon as the show closes, which is tomorrow's the closing performance, we have to start dismantling costumes. I'm not going back to the theater on Monday. The interns and my boss will be closing out, they'll be breaking down the costumes on Monday, but because I'm leaving the country on Tuesday, she's like, don't worry about it, we'll do strike without you. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yep, I'm sure. And So as long, she asked me to do one thing. She's like, can you please strike the Ursula costume before you leave on Sunday? And I was like, absolutely. I put it together. I will take it apart. So all I have to do is remove all the alterations we made, which is we added the tentacles and we added some other stuff to the Ursula costume for our performances. So I will remove all of those since I'm the one who added them, and I know what needs to be removed. So I will strike the Ursula costume tomorrow before I leave the theater. So the show is a 2 p.m. show. So the show should be closed by 5 p.m. tomorrow. But by the time I'm done striking the costume, I don't think I'm going to leave the theater before 6 p.m. But that's going to be my goal. My goal is to be gone and on my way home by 6 p.m. so I can have, Sunday night dinner with my family tomorrow and be officially done with Little Mermaid. And then hopefully finish my bag because I leave on an airplane on Tuesday, and gee, wouldn't it be nice to have that backpack finished? The court side is a backpack. Did I mention that? The court side is a backpack, and it's the backpack I have chosen to be my carry-on on the airplane because it's a big backpack, and I'm going to use it as I'm going to put the little rolly thing on it so I can have my rolly on the airplane. So it needs to be ready so it can be my carry-on. And the whole reason I'm making the packet in from today, the Tilda, is so I can put that inside my court side with my change of clothes, because my carry-on luggage, you want to have a change of clothes inside your luggage. And so I thought, I'm making all this bespoke luggage for my trip. I should have my change of clothes inside also have its own bespoke luggage, because I am crazy. I'm legitimately nuts. So that's it. I'm almost home. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me talk to you in a car today. I will do my best to have titles or something over photos or over video or whatever to make sense of all the video and photos that I am able to add to this when I go to edit it after our friends leave tonight. Because let's face it, I'm going to be up probably till midnight anyways, and hopefully I will have this done and posted, because on Saturdays I sew and I bring you along for the ride. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already and you like this kind of crazy content, please subscribe. Next week, August 2nd, I will be in Birmingham, or I guess I might be leaving Birmingham on my way to Bath, and the video will be from the all about my quilt, the quilt that is going to be hanging at the Festival of Quilts in Birmingham, in the deer. There are a family of deer crossing the road. So that's next week's video, will be my quilt video. It is long. It is over an hour long. If you think I talk a lot now, I talk a lot then. But I edited as much as I could. I really did. I edited and edited and edited. I tell stories about my mom. I tell stories about me. And I think it's a good video. I'm really happy with it. I hope you like it. But I show you from start to finish, from pulling the blocks out of the box and laying them out and deciding on where they should go together, which blocks I should use, all the way to the finished product, all the way to mailing them. You see the whole process start to finish of me making the quilt. So if you're interested in that, that is next week's video. And I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the quilt hanging up at the festival. So yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you soon, or in 2 weeks. Bye.